Another Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, Real Estate with Kendell. Happy Hump Day, Kendell with Real Estate with Kendell, and the DMV. So another Wednesday gone past. We're getting closer to the end of summer. Wow, the summer went by fast, didn't it, folks? Well, today one of the topics we're gonna talk about is should you sell your house this year? I don't know if you should sell your house this year or not. Surprising, right? But here's a few things that we're going to talk about. Uh, Maybe you don't want to sell your house this year if you don't want the opportunity to have more options to move. Um, Maybe you don't want to sell your house because you know you don't want to take on the opportunity of the amount of homes on the market still being low, which means that there might be benefits for when you sell your home. Um, Maybe you don't understand the equity uh, that you generated and what you can now do with that equity. But this is what I'm talking about. Should I sell my house this year? Well, there's no denying in the housing market is undergoing a shift this season as buyer demand slowed down. So the demand is not what it looked like during the pandemic, which was the weirdest time that people decided to jump out and buy, although people had reasons for it. You know, they found out that the home they were living in just wasn't suitable for folks being home all day. And so a lot of folks went in and did up moved up, got bigger homes, etc., or even moved down. So a lot of things happened during the pandemic. The pandemic showed a lot of folks that what their living arrangements were. So with the demand for buyers slow, the number of homes for sale grows. But that should actually give you some unique benefits when you sell. Here's a look at the opportunities you have if you list your home this fall. Opportunity one thing I just threw out there, you have more options for your move. One of the biggest stories today is growing supply of homes for sale. Housing inventory has been increasing since the start of the year, primarily because of higher mortgage rates help cool off the peak frenzy of buyer demand. But what you may not realize is that actually could benefit you. If you're selling your house to make a move, it means you'll have more options to own. Uh, you'll have more options for your own home search. That gives you an even better chance to find a home that checks all of your boxes. So if you've been putting off selling because you were worried about being able to find somewhere to go, like folks were in 2021, and the beginning of this year, this might be an opportunity for you. Opportunity number two, the number of homes on the market are still low. Well, just remember, while data shows the number of homes for sale has increased this year, housing supply is still firmly in a seller's market territory. To be in balanced market where there are enough homes available to meet the pace of buyer demand, there would need to be 6 months supplies of homes, according to the latest report from the National Association of Realtors in July. There was only 3.3 months of supply. While you have more options for your own home search, inventory is still low, and that means your home will still be in demand if you price it right. That's why the most recent data from the National Association of Realtors also shows the average home sold in July still saw multiple offers and sold in as little as 14 days. Something to think about, right? Opportunity number three, your equity has grown by record amounts. The home price appreciation the market saw over the past few years has likely given you equity and at a considerable boost. Danielle Hale, chief economist at Realtor.com, explained homeowners trying to decide if now, excuse me, homeowners trying to decide if now is the time to list their home for sale are still in a good position in many markets across the country. As a decade of rising home prices give them a substantial equity cushion. If you've been holding off on selling because you're worried about how rising prices will impact your next home search, rest assured equity can help. It may be just what you need to cover the large portion, if not all, of the down payment on your next home. So this is really something that folks you need to think about. So uh, you know, reach out to your local expert. We help folks all over the DMV with that with finding out what you need to get your home sold. The next topic we're going to go into is getting your home ready to sell and working with an expert like myself. Let's see here. Make sure I get this right. All right. So get your home ready to sell. Work with an agent for expert advice. You always want to, whatever you get into. I know we think we know everything. We read a lot of books and all that stuff, but there are some professionals out here that actually do things daily. They're working on the things that you may only do once in 5 years, once in 20 years, or never have done it. So, in a market that's shifting as fast as today, many homeowners wonder what, if anything, needs to be renovated before they sell their house. That's where a trusted real estate professional comes in. They can help you think through today's market conditions and how they impact what you should and shouldn't do before selling your home. Here are some considerations a professional will guide you through. What you need to know about your local market. Since the supply of homes, and we just talked a little bit about this, since supply of homes has increased so much this year, today's buyers have more options than they had last year. That may mean you're not able to ignore some of those repairs or cosmetic updates you could have skipped in the previous month. As a recent article from Realty.com said, to stand out in the market, sellers should make their home attractive to buyers, which usually means some selective updates. The key word here is selective. Since it's the seller's market, focus on a few key areas may be enough to make your house stand out from the options. And since inventory is still low overall, it's also possible buyers may be willing to handle the renovations themselves once they move in. It all depends on the buyer demand and available inventory in your local area. For advice on what's happening in your market, seek your local expert. That's what we do here. And so one of the things about those knowing about the supply and demand and the differences of now the buyers having more choices is that as a seller you have to understand there's a lot of sellers putting their homes on the market and they're forgetting that we are no longer in the peak sellers market like we were last year. So we need to stress this to the sellers. Sellers, listen to me. That day is gone. You have to adjust. So please pay attention when you're talking to your advisor. If you're speaking to me and my team, you have to know that we're not telling you anything that that's incorrect. We're telling you what we're seeing in the market every day, and we know that it has shifted because the buyer demand has lowered. You may not understand that. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to help you understand that the buyer demand is lower. Therefore, the same rules do not apply for today's market. All right. Not all renovation and projects are equal. In addition to making sure your house makes good first impression, you also want to consider the return on your investment for any renovation. According to the 2020 Remodeling Impact Report from National Association of Realtors, here are the projects that could get you the best return on your sale of your home. Okay, vinyl floors, 82%. So you can recoup 82% if you put down vinyl floors. You can recoup 100% if you put in a new garage door. You can recoup 100% if you put in a new roof. You can recoup 100% if you upgrade your insulation. You can recoup 118% for new wood floors and 147% for refinished floors. So again, your real estate advisor is your best resource. When your agent comes to your house and walk through the consultation, they'll use the expertise to offer insight into what you may need, repair, replace, or refinish. They also know what other sellers are doing before listing their homes and how buyers are reacting to those upgrades to help steer you to the right direction. As Dr. Jessica Lotz, Vice President of Demographics and Behavioral Insights for National Association of Realtors, explained, this year the winner was hardwood flooring. Hardwood floor refinishing and putting in new wood flooring had the most significant value. So folks, keep that in mind. Hardwood floors. If you have carpet and you want to sell, you have to think about replacing that carpet. How to draw buyer attention to the upgrades you've made for any projects you've already completed or for those you plan to do before listing. Make sure your real estate professional knows. They're not just an advisor to help you decide where to focus your efforts. They're also skilled at highlighting any upgrades in your listing. That way, potential buyers know about the features that may help sell them on the house. No matter what, contact a local real estate professional for expert advice. No matter what, you want to contact a local professional. About what works need to be done and how to make it appealing as possible for future buyers. Folks, you're not making these changes for yourself. You want to look at and get with your expert and understand that, what the expert is seeing out there, that and the expert understands that the buyers are buying this for this. So if you're an investor, especially a flip investor, or a home buyer, you need to understand. If your agent said, hey, down the street, they're putting in this, and this is what got them $20,000 over, or this what got their home sold fast, you have to pay attention to what they have, because you may go spend your money, and that 118% on the new wood floors might not work, because guess what? You chose the wrong color floors. And you only chose the wrong color floor 9 times out of 10 because you did not want to spend the proper money to get the floors done correctly to match what's going on in the market. So bottom line, in today's market is shifting. It's important to spend time and money wisely when you're getting ready to move. So, we're here to connect with you anytime when you're looking at getting into the market. We gotta get with the right folks and to understand exactly. Here's the thing. Would you take your Toyota to your next door neighbor who knows how to hang a front door to get a diagnostic? Well, I'm going to answer that question. I hope you won't. I hope you take it to Toyota or somebody that works on a Toyota. Not just anybody, somebody who knows how to work on a Toyota. That's what you want to do, folks. You want to reach out to folks like myself. So let's go to the next thing. All right, is the real estate market slowing down, or is this a housing bubble? Every time we got to come back. We got to come back to this. We got to come back to this because we still don't know. Even after all that I just said, we still don't know. We still don't understand. The talk of the housing bubble is coming in the coming years seems to be a fever pitch as rising mortgage rates continue to slow down and overheated real estate market Over the past 2 years, home prices have appreciated at an unsustainable pace, causing many to ask, are things just slowing down or is a crash coming? To answer this question, there are two things we want to understand. The first is reality of the shift in today's market. And the second is what experts are saying about home prices in the coming year. So the reality of the shift in today's housing market, the reality is we're seeing an inflection point in housing supply and demand. According to Realty.com, active listings have increased more than 26% over last year, while showings from the latest showing time showing index have decreased almost 17% from last year. So that means that there's more inventory on the market, but less showings of those inventory. So this is an inflection point for housing because over the past 2 years, we've seen a massive amount of demand. So demand is the showings and not enough homes available for sale for the number of people wanting to buy. That caused the frenzy. Today's supply and demand look very different, and the market is slowing down from a pace where we've seen the offers. This offers proof of sudden slowdown. So many people are failing. So check this out: 26% active listings to showings. The showings went negative 16.8%. These homes aren't being looked at. So that means that demand is not there, and these houses are taking longer to sell on the market. But keep in mind that the other part in that is that what's going to happen is it's still a seller's market. It's not a hot peak seller's market like it was. What experts are saying about home prices in the coming year right now. Let's go to this other slide real quick. Right now, most experts are forecasting home price appreciation in 2023, but at much slower pace than the last 2 years. The average of the six forecasters below is for national home prices to appreciate by 2.5% in the coming year. Only one of the six is calling for home price depreciation. So with all these folks, Fannie Mae, HPES, Freddie Mac, NBA, National Association of Realtors, and Zellman. Zellman is the only one, so he's they're kind of beat out here. They're the only one that's saying that home prices will depreciate. But on almost an average, now they said 2.5, but I'm like, looking at this, the average might be 4%, but I'm not a math major either, so I guess there's some adding division and some subtraction that comes with the actual average. But anyway, well, we're going to use that average of all six forecast 2.5% increase, which I think the normal before especially before the last recession in 2008 was about appreciation of about 3.5% a year. Excuse me. So when we look at the shift taking place along what experts are saying, we can conclude the national real estate market is slowing down, but it's not in a bubble, getting ready to burst. This feels nothing like 2008. This isn't to say that a few overheated markets won't experience home price depreciation, but there isn't a case to be made for a national housing bubble. So let's talk about that for a second. One thing that we have to always keep in mind is that when we talk about markets, that's why I do not look at the news. News normally talk about national situations. We need to be concerned with what happens in our community, in our town, in our state. So when you look at the news and they're talking about something way over there, that does not affect you personally in most cases. So always check for channels like my channel who will tell you and hope give you information for what's happening in your neck of the woods, not way across somewhere that has nothing to do with you. And then you might be looking at that New York and Florida market is tanking, but the whole time the housing market in your area is booming. So always pay attention to that. And so the real estate market is slowing down and causing many to fear we're in a housing bubble. But we're experiencing in the housing market over the past 2 years were historic levels of demand and constrained supply. Folks, we always have to remember there's always something that creates a trend. So we have to understand what the trend is creating and then compare that and look at exactly, what the past situations were. That trend was nothing like what caused the last recession. Uh, so, uh, so with the so we experienced the housing market over the past 2 years where historic levels of demand constrained supply. That led to homes going up in value at a record pace, while some overheated markets may experience price depreciation in the short term. According to experts, national real estate market will appreciate in the coming year. So, folks, we have to pay attention again to our market, to what's going on in our market. Come back to my channel. I'm always going to be updating exactly what's going on in the DMV, especially and especially DC and Maryland. And so come back to my channel. Come check us out. If you have any questions, leave comments. I'll try to answer you as soon as I can. But meanwhile, folks, real estate is still a seller's market. Thinking about selling your home, hey, I'm here, Kendell One Realty Resource, a BENNETT Realty Solution Company. Hey, Hump Day Real Estate with Kendell, DMV. We're signing off. Have a blessed remainder of your week.